Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to document the weather using animation and satellite data and analysis data, and to show you how to make videos with a layer of NEXRAD stations. So you'd be able to see exactly where the weather, how the weather formations are developing with NEXRAD stations. So anywhere near NEXRAD stations, you can see how they are influencing the weather. So this is really good for anyone who is studying or researching this topic. So if you go to the website, there's two websites where I'm going to be using. First one is Environment Canada. You can go to their satellites and choose the IR satellite for North America. Okay. And the second website is the College of DuPage, and you go to the website. You can click here and go to, there's two we're going to be using. There's satellite and radar and analysis data. So we'll start here. So I'm using two programs to do this. First one is Movie Edit Pro. It's made by the Magix company. You can use any video editor. You won't be able to use Windows Movie Maker. So you need a program that actually allows you to have multiple layers or channels for your video. And I'm also using a tube catcher. So I'm just on the screen record mode here. And that's all you need. A tube catcher is free, and this other program is you can purchase. So unless you have your own video program. So what I did was I went to these websites where you can see the weather animation, and I actually took a screenshot of how big the image was, and I actually used this map here, which shows all your NEXRAD sites. And so what I did was I used the graphic design program and made maps. So I stretched the maps and changed the size to make them the appropriate size. So each of them has a different size depending on the map we're using. So we stretched out the map so that it would fit maps like this. And then it's from this point, and once you do that, everything's easy. You just put in your animation and you just throw the layer over top, and you'll be able to watch how the weather is forming, all the cloud formations, the moisture divergence, and all of that. You'll be able to see that all happening and where it is occurring near NEXRAD sites. So the first thing you want to do is make your videos of the weather animation that you're gonna show. So I use a tube catcher. Like I said, I have the cursor, this check marked. I use the hotkeys, it's easier. You can just press your F7 and F8 on your keyboard to start and stop. And that's pretty much it, except the only thing now is, let's say we're doing this map firm, and this is Environment Canada. So what you would do is you would go to, before you start recording, you hit select area here, and then you're gonna highlight just the map. So highlight from the top left corner to the bottom right corner, and then you're gonna record. You're gonna hit F7 to record. So I usually like to show the most images, so this will take you back the farthest in time. So yeah, I hit this here, rewind it to the beginning, and I'll simply play it like this. Okay. If you want it slow, you can just slow it down like this. If you want it to be slower. So there's that video. That's the first map. Second map I'll show you is at the COP website here. So once you click into weather analysis tools, go to satellite and radar. Okay. And then you're going to go here where it says 24-hour water vapor loop. So you're going to click that, and the map will start loading. So I'll just stop it here. For this map, you're going to also screen record the same way you did the last time. You're going to go select area. You're going to select it exactly from the top left here right down to the bottom right, and probably show the select it to the bottom right where you can show the time here on the bottom. So just down here, so I select it from here to there. So you don't need to show this green bar in here. And so for this map, you just play it once it's loaded, and you can slow down the speed here as well, because it's a pretty quick map, but if you slow it down, it's easier to see how the weather formations are taking place. So there's this map. Other maps I also like to use, if you go to product menu here, you have visible satellite, infrared, and this was the water vapor you just saw, and also have a radar mosaic. So I always click 48 because that, again, that shows you the most frames, so you can go back the furthest in time. So these ones only let you go 48 back. So you click that, and you can also watch. You can do the same thing. You can do the screen record for these. So again, selecting from the top left to the bottom right there. So there's 4 different satellite images you can use there, satellite animations, and so these maps will use a different layer. So we'll talk more about that when we're doing the video. So another map here that we're going to use, you go to tools here and analysis data. So for your analysis data, we have basically two types of maps that we'll be using. So you go to surface maps here, and you can see here there's different types of map you can screen record. So let's go to the first one. This is synoptic fronts. So again, you can click the loop here. A little different for these ones, but the loop is on the top right here. And so you can slow down the animation again for these. Now when you're doing these, again, you're just selecting your screen record, select area, you're just selecting from the top left to the bottom right down here, so we can see the time on the bottom. Okay, so then you can press F7, do your screen record, and get videos for animations for all these different types of analysis videos. Okay, so you can do that for, just go back here, you can do that for any of these moisture flux, you can do streamlines. Okay, so these will use a different overlayer of for maps, for NEXRAD sites. So those are the analysis map. So basically, just to show you what it looks like, there you go. See, it's just a image with the NEXRAD sites in place. It just goes over top of your video that you'll make for these, and you'll see exactly how it works when we start doing that. So then you have upper air maps here. You can also do these as well. Exact same process. You click the map, and don't do select your area yet. You have to click loop first. That's important because your map will mess up your image when it goes over top. So you make sure you click loop first, because see this little bar pops up here. So you want to record. Select the top left to the bottom right here. So you got your upper air maps here, which you can also do screen recordings of. And the last one is your RAP meso analysis products. So the only one that I know of that's different is this map here. Your WV and vorticity, water vapor and vorticity map. This one is a different map. The rest of these, they should be the same. So same thing, you can use this one here. You can click loop, do your select your area and do a screen record of that. And this is a great map. I love this map here. That shows a lot of things that's going on. It shows your high pressure, low pressure, with your front and your moisture as well. So that's a great map there. And this is also a good map. This one here, I like to use this one. So this map will be using a different overlay than the rest of these maps. Okay. So once you have your videos all done, you've done your screen records, your videos, and it will show up wherever your output folder is. They'll show up in there. Okay. So you have your videos. You have these maps here that I will provide. I will give you a link for those where you can get those maps. And you're going to go into your movie program, and we're going to take our videos and simply place them into a video track. So once you've got your videos in there, there are 4 layers that we're going to be using for these videos. So we got our Environment Canada satellite here. We got our COD website satellite image here, and then we have our analysis maps. This is for our surface maps there. We have I put in 2 as an example here. So we got this one, and then your streamlines, and then here this is our upper air maps. I included one of those. So your upper air maps, okay? So, and then we have our meso analysis maps. So I have this first one I showed you for meso analysis, and there's also this map here. So we have 4 layers that we're going to be using for these maps. First one is the Environment Canada layer, and like it's just basically an overlay, right? And layer for that. So we got our videos all here. You're gonna take the first video here is the Environment Canada website, Environment Canada map. So we're gonna take this layer here for Environment Canada, and we are just gonna drag it and put it in as a separate layer. There you go. Put it as a separate layer there. We'll stretch this out so it's as long as the animation is. So a good way of checking to make sure that sometimes you'll have some misalignment of this layer that we just threw on top with these NEXRAD sites. Sometimes it can be misaligned. To check that, you just go into the COD website, and you go into weather analysis, satellite radar, click here where it says NEXRAD sites. Okay, so you can kind of just check, make sure your sites are aligned. I usually use this one here in Florida as a mark. I use this one as a mark. This is a good one, and this one here in Oregon. So you can use those as a mark, and then of course the top right here. And you can check, make sure they're lined up. And this one is not lined up. So if you need to line it up, what I do is I select the image here, the overlay that we put over top, and you go into effects, and you're going to click video here, video effects, and then movement effects and size position, and I just click edit. So you see this is highlighted now. If you want to see it in a bigger screen, you just right click, go full size here. Okay. So what I usually do is on your keyboard you got Alt Tab, which is just if you select this movie program and then your internet, it'll shift back and forth. So Alt Tab will take you if you want to compare it as you're looking. So let's see here. If you need to move it around, I just use my arrows on my keyboard and just line it up. I'm looking here, Oregon. That looks pretty dead on there. And Florida I don't use for this one, but you have other markers here. This one here near Texas, just in the corner there. It looks pretty good. Yeah. So these ones are off the map a little. We can fix that. The map just needs to be shrunk down probably just a little. Shrink it and then position it again. And that looks pretty dead on there. That looks pretty good. So we got the dot there. And that is right there, the NEXRAD site. So and I just know because in Canada here they have these NEXRAD sites are located with this one here on the island here. You got one there, you got one here. So that you'll know just from looking at the. So if you go to Environment Canada website, you go into weather, radar, and then you can actually click here for Canada. And you can see here, you can see where the Doppler sites are here for Canada. Got one in near St. John's there. You got one here near Halifax. So this is a good way of checking there. And you can see they're pretty dead on there. So you press escape there, and now your map is aligned. So then you can just watch it. You can watch the animation happening with your NEXRAD sites. So for the next video we made was using the COD website. We went to the satellite radar and the water vapor loop. So we have video of that now. So for this video, let's just zoom in here. For this video, you're going to use a different overlay map. You're going to use the satellite map COD overlay. So you take that and you drag it over. I'm going to shorten the length here. It's the same as the clip. And there we go. So this one looks pretty dead on. Looks like we don't need any adjustments because we did our screen record was pretty dead on. So this one's it's ready to roll. So another thing you can do if you want to highlight make your NEXRAD site stand out a little more, you can click your video that you recorded, go into your effects and video effects, brightness, and you can bring the brightness up a little so they stand out more. You can do a lot of things with this. You can change the color, you can do a lot if you want to make it stand out more. I just use the brightness though. So we got this one done, and now the next map is our analysis map. So this is our analysis map here, and this is the surface map we use. So analysis data, and this is, remember, the surface map here. So for those ones, you use the analysis map Canada and US. So there we go, take that there. So originally the sites I had were actually just US sites, but going to the website for Environment Canada, we figured out where the Doppler sites were, and we actually put those onto the map. So they're pretty accurate. They're not 100%, but they're pretty accurate. The US ones are definitely, they're pretty dead on, the US NEXRAD site locations. So we put this analysis map for Canada and US, we dragged it in, and this one looks pretty good. Yeah. So if you need to adjust it, you can. I'm not going to show you here, but this map is hard to see, so I usually bring the brightness up a little like this. And there you got that one. You use the same map for any surface map you're using. So we can stretch this out because this is also surface map here, right? Streamlines, yeah, see it's working. Everything seems to look pretty good in place. It's actually off a little, but you can always adjust that, right? So and it's also working for this map, also works for your upper air maps as well. So you got your upper air maps here, exact same overlay that you use for those as well. Okay, now when we go to MISO analysis, these other maps here, these maps will also use the same overlay. These maps, not the first one, but all the rest of these maps, they should also use this same overlay that we used, analysis map, the one that we just dragged in here. The only one that's different is the first one here. So this map, we had to make a separate overlay for that. Okay, so we'll show you that one here. So this is the water vapor and vorticity, and that is this map here, WV and vorticity. So you drag that in, put it over top, and there you go. You got an overlay for this one now. This one's right on, this one needs no adjustment. So, and then again, you can increase the brightness of the top video so you can see the NEXRAD sites better. Okay, and finally we got some other maps in MISO analysis. I included just one example here. So like I was saying, for these ones you're going to use the analysis map. So you drag that in, put it over here, and stretch it out. And there you go. You have the map for this one. So there you go. There you have it. Now you have a full weather animation. You can play it. You can export this, and people can watch how the weather patterns are forming, developing in close proximity to these NEXRAD stations, and how they are influencing our weather on a daily basis. So excellent. If we have more of these videos coming out, this is great for research. So once you're done the video, you can export it, export movie. I usually do it as a MPEG, and you can you do it in high quality, and you can upload it onto YouTube so other people can see. This is really cool because there is no video I've seen, no kind of weather animation I've seen that actually has NEXRAD sites enabled, where you can see exactly where they are. And so this is the first video of its kind where you can actually see that. So you can see these videos, they don't show you where the NEXRAD stations are. I don't know if they can, or if there's a function but they don't want to show, or maybe it hasn't been developed, but we have a way of doing this now, showing exactly where those NEXRAD stations are. Okay, another website that I'm going to show you is U.S. Energy Information Administration. This is a great website, especially for storm trackers, for storm chasers. When you're studying a lot of these developing storms, you'll notice some of them forming over land, and they are cloud plumes originating from power plants. So this website, U.S. Energy Information Administration, you can choose any state, and you can actually track where, when you're looking on the satellite, you're looking at where these cloud plumes are forming. You can actually find exactly where the power plants are. So, you can go, let's say for example, Texas, and you can see here exactly where power plants are forming. So that recent storm from the Gulf, you had cloud plumes coming right around from this area here, and look how many power plants that you have there in this area. And these are massive power plants. So these symbols here are for the coal power plants, and you can see like that's a ton of aerosols being released from this factory. So the higher capacity they have, the more clouds they're capable of generating. So this is like 2,400 megawatts. Like, that is huge. This is a coal power plant for that symbol, and then these symbols are the natural gas power plants, which also generate massive amounts of clouds. So you can always see and track where these cloud plumes are coming from. You can see here, power plant, a nuclear power plant created a snow plume. So they had a band of snow that came down. Okay, you also have another example. There's a storm chaser here. His name's Dan Robinson. He's been studying power plant exhaust-induced cloud formations, and he's done some excellent documentation of this man-made weather here, artificially triggered thunderstorms. So, and if that's not enough, you have also some research articles that talks about power plants and the emissions, aerosols that they release into the air. So this is a really interesting article. It says that there's an unanticipated increase in the direct emission of ultrafine particles, which are highly effective. Basically, they're creating cloud condensation nuclei. Okay, it says that these ultrafine particles probably modify the cloud microphysics as well as precipitation intensity. Okay, so this is really interesting because they're talking about how the water droplets change because of these power plants. You get tons of aerosols come spewing out into the air, right? And so this article actually talks about that could create more vigorous rain events. So just think, floods. How many floods are we seeing in the US and in other places? Especially with this new technology, this clean fossil fuel combustion. So, because you're creating, basically what the article is saying, you're creating finer particles, which alter the cloud microphysics. It's also a good website here, ESRI, disaster response. So they track all the disasters happening. So any kind of flooding. I think this one is mostly for flooding, so you can take a look at that too, see which areas are being flooded.